Chris Jones and Dorian O'Daniel have been excused for the day for personal reasons. And then you know about Yang with ribs and Rimmers with the knee. Those two won't practice. The new one would be Sneed. He's got just his ankles bothering him, and so we're going to put him down for today. But he'll be back here. Other than that, listen, we look forward to the challenge of playing the Raiders. We know things didn't go their way this past weekend, but the 2 weekends before that, against Denver and Philly, they racked up a lot of points and didn't give up very many. And so we know what kind of football team they are. And we've got to have a good week of practice starting today. And, that's where we're at. So, and it's the Raiders. We know how that goes. All right, with that, time's yours.
Coach, there's a lot of reports this morning about a potential interest from the Chiefs with Odell Beckham, and he's supposedly narrowed the choices down, with the Chiefs being among them. Two-part question here. How much validity is there to the Chiefs' interest in him? And then the second, what do you think he would bring to this team?
Yeah, that's Veach's area, and he looks at everybody. I mean, you guys know how he does. I've been in a bunker trying to get my work done, so I don't know. I haven't really talked to him about that, so, and that's where we're at. I don't know much. I don't have a whole lot to give you, Herbie, but I know he looks at everybody, so.
To Herbie's point, in the past, the Chiefs, most of the time when guys come here, they on the tail end of their careers now. The past few years, you guys have been linked to some of the top names and as free agents. Why you guys, over the other teams?
I don't know that. I mean, but, I mean, it's listen. We've been doing okay, right? It's a great city, great venue to play here. I mean, if you're a player in this league, I would think it's a pretty good situation. You get some young players that are pretty good on the team, and I mean, I'm just trying to give you thoughts on it, not that you don't know. So it's, but I know we do get linked to him. You guys know Brett, and so Brett's always going to keep his eyes and ears open, and that's how he does. And so you're going to get tied in with certain guys, right or wrong. You're going to get tied in with certain guys, and but that's healthy too. That's what you want. You don't want to have a guy that's sitting around not doing that stuff. So.
Coach, last year when you all faced the Raiders in Vegas, there were no fans there. This year, of course, a lot of Chiefs fans are looking to make that travel. You talked about Green Bay bringing their fans out here, Chiefs fans going up there. How important will it be for this team, especially knowing the offensive struggles you may have had the last couple of weeks and what the Raiders have been going through last week, that you all that the fan aspect of being at that game will help the Chiefs overcome the Raiders?
Yeah, so listen, our fans travel well, and Las Vegas is a popular place to go. I know that, so I would anticipate that there be a lot of fans, and we appreciate every one of them. They've been in some of our away games here, and they do a great job. So, and that's a nice venue. There's a brand new stadium, a year old, and I'm sure a lot of people want to see it.
Coach, you mentioned Brett's always looking. You'd always like to get better. But as it stands right now, injuries aside, if someone health-wise, skill position-wise, do you feel like you have enough to get where you want to go on offense right now, or do you maybe need an infusion?
Yeah, so listen, we've got good players here. But you've got to, in this business, you always have to keep your eyes open. And I'm partial. I mean, I think he does it as well or better than anybody. So I think that's healthy. And it doesn't mean that guys are coming here, but you got to look. I mean, you have to look at these things.
Andy, the amount of zone defenses that you guys are seeing on the underneath stuff, maybe this is kind of an educational question, but I guess whose responsibility is it to find the opening within some of those coverages? I mean, I guess what I'm asking is it the play call that you guys are trying to find? Is it the quarterback and receiver being on the same page? Because Patrick mentioned a few weeks ago that there's options that the receiver have, and they both kind of have to see it the same way.
Yeah, so I always tell you, that, I mean, I can do a better job with that. And normally when it's a good call, good things happen. So, you know, that's what I tell you. Yeah.
Are you done? Sorry.
I'm done, yeah.
Understand, like, you know, no two seasons are the same and all that stuff, but if you win, you'd have the same record that you did 2 years ago. We know how that went. Is that a point of reference for you directly, indirectly? Is it something you assume you guys know and understand? Or?
Yeah, not, I wouldn't say specifically bringing that part up. I mean, I understand that, but you spend so much time focusing on getting yourself ready to play. Those things don't necessarily have an impact. You know, it does in the big picture, but when you're getting ready to play a good football team, it's not, you want to spend every minute trying to get the scheme down and get their scheme down and then understand their players, and it's endless hours on that, trying to get that done. So I don't go in that direction. I just, you know, the guys, they read all your stuff, so I mean, you know, they know.
Andy, in terms of play calling, Patrick mentioned about a week ago the idea that still wanting to take the deep shot when it's there. I'm just wondering, when you face defenses that are playing such too high coverage, how that may change your willingness to call deeper shots, or how you may change your tendency given that look.
Yeah, so every defensive scheme, you have to alter some of your calls and do what you have to do, you know, to move the ball. And so, but when given an opportunity, if it's, you know, if it's a situation where it's equal to or depending on the matchup, you take the shot. You're never going to get a shot unless you take a shot. So that's, you know, that's how we do. And then if you don't get it, then go get it the next time. So we're one of the better second down teams in football. Go get it then, right? So that's how we go.
Andy, well, you've been involved in a lot of close games. There's been a lot of them around the league as well. A lot of those games have involved big comebacks one way or the other. My question for you is, do you feel like no lead is safe? And I know you're a coach, you probably always felt that, but do you feel like no lead is safe more than ever this year maybe?
Yeah, listen, the league has strived like crazy, as you know, for the last how many ever years for parity in the league. I mean, I'm just looking at the way this season's gone with different teams, and it seems to me that there's a tremendous amount of parity in the league. I mean, everybody on every given weekend, every town, every city in the NFL has an opportunity to win a game. I mean, that's a great thing. We're in it for the competition, and there's great competition. So I think you're seeing it right.
What about the quarterback play? Do you feel like, generally speaking, the quarterback play is better in the NFL than it was?
Yeah, no, I think they're throwing the ball. Kids are throwing the ball better because they're doing it in college, they're doing it at high school, they're doing it in the Pee Wee League. So it's, you know, I think it's great for the game.
Coach, with Kyle Long back in the mix, what's a reasonable expectation for him? And given you guys are set at guard, will he be working a little bit at the tackle position?
Yeah, I mean, we have flex with him, which is good. I think it's just important right now that he kind of gets back in the swing and just gets a few opportunities to move around a little bit with, you know, doing football. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now.
Couple more guys.
Andy, what about the way your defense is playing gives you optimism that they've, you know, figured something out here?
Yeah, well, I better go back to that. Every week's a different week, we know. Great challenge this week, but I like the direction in which we're going. I mean, I like that. And so we're getting better, and that's important as we go here through this next half of the season.
Last two.
Coach, the Raiders added a guy you're familiar with, Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
What does he bring to their team?
Yeah, so very football smart, can run. I mean, I know he's old, but he can still run, and likes to play the game. You know.
Last one,
It's
Todd.
a pretty high-profile taunting call in the Monday night game. I don't know if you were watching when that happened with the Bears. Have you had more conversations with your guys this year about that emphasis? Do you think it's been applied properly in most cases by the refs in the league?
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on the
Oh,
officials.
that's,
Yeah,
that specific play,
yeah.
but generally, you have to have a message for your guys.
I think they're
about
doing
that.
great. Yeah,
All right,
all right, good.